have a very simple question. My husband and I are 68 and 71, and we're coming in late in the game. We have no retirement, and all our money's in the house and the land. We've done another program with baby steps in it, and we've got, out of debt, which makes us very happy. But we don't know we have a little bit of cash at the end of each month, and we don't know where to put it. So we've been cashing it out and sticking it in the mattress, quote unquote. So, because we're kind of weary of stock markets and things and not being able to get to the cash if the electronics go down. So, do you have any suggestions or?
Well, I think everybody needs to have cash at home. I've been saying this for a while, and so that's a good thing. How much is probably questionable. Some people probably have too much. Some people don't have enough. But I think it's all relative. I mean, whatever somebody is comfortable doing and you should have. But the risk there, of course, is two risks there, and one is theft and one is fire. So you can probably alleviate the fire one, but with the right protections. But that sounds silly, but they're your risk. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think what has to be your question, not now, but I would suspect someday it will be a question, and maybe you start thinking about it now, is how do we convert some of what we have in hard assets, land and house and such? Do we attempt to convert that into some sort of income to help us get by? Now, maybe you don't need any more income. Maybe you're okay, or maybe you have a pension and Social Security and you'll be okay. So it might be somewhat irrelevant. But I used to deal with this a lot back in the fracking age when it started in Pennsylvania. I was kind of one of the go-to trust companies back when I had trust companies for some people that became very, very wealthy that had no money at all, and helping them try to figure out how to handle their land and their rights and all those, their mineral rights and all those kinds of things. But until then, they had nothing because they were fortunate. They didn't want to let go of their land, which ended up being a good thing. But they were land rich, and so there's a lot of farmers and people around the country that are very, very land rich. And the Biden administration is probably going to change all that and make your next generation very poor because of how land rich you are through estate tax. And they're already through some proposals out there, and they're definitely going to do something should they stay in power. So you're limited as to what you can do. I would not recommend that you do any kind of investing. I wouldn't buy gold or silver. I wouldn't go into the stock market at this point. The only thing that I would do, and I would suggest that you can do, which you may already be doing, and that is to cut as many expenses as you possibly can so that you can save as much as you possibly can. And you did a great service by getting out of debt. That is huge, and that's going to help you more than anything. So now it's accumulation, and you've got to accumulate from what you have coming in, and you've got to increase what you have coming in by decreasing your expenses. That's all you can do. So I would just keep doing what you're doing. I don't want to discourage you because you shouldn't be, but I don't also want to say, well, if you do this, you'll probably be great and you're going to multiply your money. Somebody will tell you that if you go to enough people, and they'll tell you how to do it. I'm not in that camp. I'm not going to do that to anybody in your situation because I think we are in very different times and volatile times and times we should be concerned about. So I think when we get concerned, we do what we do somewhat naturally, and we start to hunker down a little bit. It sounds like that's what you're doing. And frankly, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So I think that you just keep saving. I would like it all not to be in your home. I would like to be. I would like to see some of it in a bank, maybe in a CD in a credit union or something like that. I think that is wise to have some of that in there, not just for the sake of a little bit of interest, but I think it's a healthy thing to do in this environment, because if something happened to our cash, the cash that we have is going to be converted. So you would immediately have some of your money converted into something very usable for you, because you have that money in the CD. That would give you and buy you time that will likely be necessary to convert what you have in your mattress, so to speak. So I think you should have some of it in there. I think you should have some of it collecting some interest. I think that would be wise and prudent and something you need to do. I think if you want to wait until the first of the year, maybe you can do it in a little bit of a bigger way. We've got some things that we have to see what the outcome is like. But I think you need to put some of it, I don't know how much you have, but if you have enough where you can split it, keep it at home and put some of it in a CD at a credit union, then I think you ought to do it. Hey, remember to click the subscribe button right here on the screen. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when new content is added. And more importantly than anything, you don't want to miss all 3 live hours of Financial Issues every day from 9 to noon. And you can watch it on FISM.tv. That's FISM.tv.